Hello and welcome. I'm so excited to share Katie Hibson's experience with you. She was a graduate of the Find Your Job Joy program. She's landed a new job. She's really has a whole new life since we first met. So, Katie, thank you for being here. Would you quickly introduce yourself?
Absolutely. So my name is Katie Hibson. I am a B2B SaaS product marketer focusing in the e-commerce space. And I didn't even have the words to say that before I joined the Job Joy program with Kristen.
Oh, and you said it so succinctly and
Oh,
confidently.
thanks. A lot of practice.
I love it. So, can you bring us back to where you were when we first got introduced and when you were considering joining Find Your Job Joy?
Yes, absolutely. So was with I was pregnant and decided to take a step back from my current job. Just didn't like where the direction was going, and it was a tough pregnancy, and life happened. It really was just life. And I decided to take a step back and focus on what mattered, which was myself and my child. And had my baby and wanted to get back into the job market and find a full-time role. Not because I needed to, because I wanted to.
Yeah.
And I just, after having a baby, it kind of coincided with feeling a little unclear with who I was professionally, where I wanted to go, what I enjoyed, what I should prioritize now that I had a child and I wasn't, 25 anymore at the entry levels. And I was just so in my head and I was so frustrated and I didn't know where to go or what to do. And my friend actually recommended Kristen and said, I think you should talk to her. And
Yeah.
I just needed someone just to kind of help ground me on what was important and then give me a roadmap of how to get there. And the important thing for me was I didn't have the time to figure it out myself and spend 6 months to a year. I instead was like, you know what? I'm going to spend time is the most precious resource, right? And I decided to spend money instead of spending my time to get where I wanted to go faster. And I'm so glad that I did because I am 180 degrees different spot mentally, professionally, financially than I was when I joined the program and I had a
Mhm.
3-month-old at home.
I love that. I love there's so much goodness here, so many different avenues I can go down, but you were on the precipice of a brand new chapter, right? And
Yes.
so why not, if you're doing it with building your family, why not with career as well? And yeah, it's an investment for sure, but like you said, right, you're in a better place. And I don't know if I ever asked you, but most clients make their money back multiple times over.
Oh,
Um,
I got my salary was yes, very, very healthy, very happy, supports my child and my family and absolutely made the money back. 100%.
so good. And Katie is a very special student because she's the one who inspired maternity leave at JobJoy. She
Yes. Yeah.
started while she was pregnant. And I remember, I feel like we were talking like in December-ish, and you were like, Kristen, should I start the program? Because I'm gonna have a baby. And it was like, yes, let's start, let's lay the groundwork. Then you took a little time off, and then you were back and hit the ground running really fast.
Yes, I started just the clarity module and just thinking about what I wanted. And I had the time just to sit, be pregnant, and just really think about it. Because that's where it all starts. And I didn't even know that was a step I was missing before. And
Yeah.
then took the time off, had the baby, recovered physically, emotionally, mentally, and then hit the ground running with the framework, knowing I had the clarity. And you were such a great partner when I was on maternity leave. It was
Oh,
whatever you need to come back, we'll start. Don't worry about it. I was on calls with you. I had my baby in my lap, and
yes, we love that.
yes, it was. I go off camera, go feed him, come back real quick, and it worked. And it didn't feel pressure or restraints or awkward. It merged with my new mother life so well. It wasn't even a question. It was the right fit.
Oh, I love you were birthing a human and a new career path.
It was. It felt like it was a great time to just do it all at once.
So good. So tell us, where are you now, career-wise, life-wise, all the things?
Yes, I had a lot of different experiences coming to JobJoy, and I was having trouble linking them together and gaining clarity of what the common theme was. And I remember I had a one-on-one session with you, and you helped me just put the pieces together. And once I did, I was like, "Oh, of course that's the story." I didn't see it, but it was staring me in the face the whole time.
Yeah,
And I used that, and it wasn't even a new story; it's an extension of what I've always done,
yeah.
and put all my different experiences together and to focus on B2B SaaS and e-commerce company that is the market leader in the industry and is really the size and the scope and the type of company that I really wanted for my next step. So it wasn't just a job, it was a very clear step up and step in the direction I wanted to go to. And I do feel like as a result of that, I have a 3, 5, 7 year plan. You get those
Mm.
questions of like, where do you see yourself? I was like, I have no idea. And now I do because I have a framework mentally to follow and then actions to pair with that to get me to
Mm.
where I want to go.
Yeah, your comment reminded me when you're talking about the 3 5 year plan, you had sent me a message and you were like, you know what, I know no matter what happens in this economy, in this world, I'm going to be okay because I can do what I did in Job Joy again.
Yes,
Um,
yes. It
yeah,
wasn't just once you end the program, like you're done. It teaches you skills, I think, for the rest of your life of how to think about change and what you want and how to put yourself out there to go get it.
yeah, be really intentional. So many people, it's just the momentum of their career, right? They go where they're promoted, they need a job, they take a job, but when you're really conscious and intentional, you can create something on your own terms. It's huge. Makes such a
Oh,
difference.
you taught me such of how to take ownership of the career versus you're just along for the ride. And it's
Mm.
see folks who do it and folks who don't do that from a mile away now. So you also know what folks to connect with because like, oh, they're like-minded. They have the same mindset that you do towards your career. And then you just help each other much more effectively. So it just kind of builds on itself as you
Yeah.
go forth in your career.
So good. So good. So you've hinted at this a little, but tell us why job joy versus trying to do it all on your own because you are super smart. You get things done. You're a high achiever, right? Many of my clients and myself, we identify as the overachiever. I can do it all. I don't need help, right? And it can be very hard to take that step. So tell us why you mentioned a little bit of the time, but why job joy versus, doing a DIY job search?
Yes. Yeah, it's a great question. That was something I struggled with. It's a bit of an ego, like gut check of like, oh, I
Yeah.
need help. Stop and think about it. The high achievers, the CEOs, the athletes, the bankers, athletes don't put together their own training plan.
Mm-hmm.
NFL players don't put together their own nutrition plan. Like they hire experts to help them get where they want to go faster because time is your most important, scarce resource. And I wasn't willing to stop and start when someone else clearly already solved this. Just go learn what they've already learned. And you're
Mm-hmm.
not wasting it. There's always a reason not to do it. For me, it was a baby, and that's probably the
Yes.
biggest reason
No,
of
no
all.
one could blame you. I certainly couldn't fight you.
Even
Yeah.
my husband was like, "Are you sure you want to do this right now?" And I said, "You know what? It's time because I wasn't doing it for myself. Now doing it for my family.
Yeah.
And if I'm going to do it for my family, I want to do it right, and that means hiring someone and working with someone who's an expert because your career is very, very important. You shouldn't treat it as a hobby. You should treat
Yeah.
it like a career because it is your career.
Yeah. It's foundational, right?
Foundational.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So good. Was there anything surprising about the program or any of your favorite parts that you want to share?
I was not anticipating
I
how
always
much
like to add in that wild card question.
I wasn't expecting that one. I was not anticipating in a great way, like how much emotion, good and bad, I could bring to the group and to job joy because
Mm,
career, it's emotional. It's your money, it's your life, it's your future, and it's scary sometimes, or it's thrilling. And
yeah.
it was really I'm not a big woo-woo person, but it really was a safe space. Just I think I cried on a couple calls. You just get so frustrated, or you're tired, or you're angry. And Kristen, you were great at taking those emotions, however they came out, whether it be tears or anger or whatever, and turning it into something productive
Mm,
and kind of making you step back and think about what you're doing and why and how to get better. Because the job search is emotional, whether it's by choice or not. This one obviously was by choice.
yeah.
But don't discount the emotions, and you need some help maybe handling those emotions too during the process because it's a heavy thing you're doing.
Yeah, people don't talk about that, but it's vulnerable,
No.
right? It's a really, you're
Yeah.
putting yourself out there in such a big way. So, and then of course it's tied to everything, right? It's tied to our home, it's tied to our ability to care for, our family, so much here. Um,
Mhm.
and I think it's something that people don't talk about enough. So
Absolutely.
beautiful. And one last question, Katie. If somebody is considering joining Find Your Job Joy, what advice would you give them as a graduate?
Oh, great question. Work the program. Actually do it because a lot of it,
Mm.
I think like anything, you can kind of do it halfway a little bit. And I know that part. I don't need to do that. That's not gonna get you the results. It's like working out. If you go work out, like, once a week, well, you're probably not gonna get in shape. If you're gonna do it for real, and do the
Yeah.
parts that you think you already know and are boring, or not even boring, just you already know it and it's simple. It's deceptively simple. It's not always simple, and it
Mm.
makes you think, and that's where the good stuff comes, is
Mhm.
the parts that you think are straightforward, but they're not, and that's where I recommend folks um, really think about when they're signing up for the program.
Yeah, what a gift to give to yourself to actually spend the time on those things that some of us haven't thought about in years. Who
Oh,
am I?
yeah,
What do
you
I
get on
want? Yeah.
autopilot with life, and
Yeah.
sometimes you need to take a step back and prioritize, well, where's my life going?
Yeah. Yeah. And does my job actually support the life that I want? Right. I mean, you were
Mhm.
literally entering a whole new season of your life, and perhaps the jobs you had before were no longer a fit.
Yeah, and you find yourself one thing you really brought to light was you find yourself stuck in a cycle of making the same types of decisions, just cloaked in
Mm.
different packaging over and over again, and you don't realize it. And then you wake up and you're like, why am I where I am? And you don't realize those decisions have been the same ones you've been making for 10 years. And then someone tells you that, and that's how you break out of that rut and make real change if you want to.
So good. Well, thank you for sharing your story and congratulations on your success. If people want to get in touch with you, what is the best way? LinkedIn, anything
LinkedIn,
else?
LinkedIn. Check it every week. Message me. Would love to chat about details about the program, about Kristen, myself, whatever I can do to help you.
Mm. Thank you so much, Katie. I'll see you soon.
Thanks for
Bye.
having me.